What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, we're here with Miss Megan. We got Swedish words without an English translation. Now, I don't think I ever done a video that I guess don't translate to nothing, in English at least. So it's going to be interesting to see some of the Swedish words that don't translate in English, don't have an English translation. But y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations. Let's check it out.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to my living room. So before I get into today's video, I just wanted to thank everyone for the nice comments on the last video. You guys have just been so nice and so helpful. Apparently the way that I've been saying the color beige, I was pronouncing it bash. And I've since learned from all the comments that this is more of a dialect thing. And apparently it's also a Norwegian word.
Bash.
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 So
Bash.
Very interesting because I was taught how to pronounce the word while living here in Örebro. And I found out that that type of dialect can be referred to as Närkingska. Oh no, I don't know if I said that right. Närkingska.
Om jag pratar närkingska, det är klart jag gör det. Jag är född och
Okay, that is
uppvuxen
pretty
i
close.
Örebro.
So it's
I
definitely
guess you
more
had to say
that
it fast.
central region from the landskap Närke, but I live in Örebro län, in Örebro kommun.
Örebro.
Was that correct? I don't know. I don't know if they got rid of landskap, but now they usually use län, which is, I don't even know why there's a difference or what the difference is. I'll probably be inserting. I don't even
So it says land has local
know
government.
why there's a difference or what
Landscape, no
the
political
difference
importance.
is. I'll probably be inserting different Wikipedia thumbnails or whatever here. So yeah, that was really helpful to know. And I also think that my friends here did not realize that it was a dialect thing. But you guys have really given me some more confidence to post more videos in Swedish. So I think I'll be doing that sooner than I expected. But speaking of Swedish words, we are going to talk about some more today. So these are words that don't have a direct translation in English, except for one of them. One of them I think does have an English word, but I didn't know about it until until hearing the Swedish word first. Hopefully it's interesting for you if you're in Sweden and you are Swedish. And then hopefully this is interesting for maybe people learning the language. So let's get into it. I worked as a bartender here for a little while, and I had a few people order a grog. I didn't realize what that was, but apparently a grog is a drink that has 2 ingredients. So it'd be like a gin and tonic or a vodka soda, like whiskey 7. So it's just 2 ingredients and an alcoholic drink, and they call it a grog. Yeah, so in English, I would call this just a mixed drink. It's not quite a cocktail, because I feel like cocktails have more than 2 ingredients, maybe are a little more specialized. Not 100% sure on this, but I learned that word since being here. In the last video, I did talk about the word besh, which is essentially just a beer, but it is kind of it's a slang word for ordering a beer. I guess there probably are some similar slang words in English that you could say for beer, like, oh no, I don't sound cool trying to say any of these, but brewski? Do people actually order?
Brewski? Don't they say like, give it to me on tap? Or see, I don't drink, but I used to help out, at least when I was younger, working at a restaurant, at the bar and stuff like that. I learned to make drinks and stuff. That because I was trusted, that had some older people, they might have would have drank better. Anyway, but yeah, I just on the rocks, tap, all those little slang words, because I never knew what on the rocks meant until I started working in the bar. And they're just like, that just means with ice.
Do people actually order brewskis? I feel like you don't order that. It's more just something you'd say with your friends. And from my understanding, that's kind of the same thing here in Sweden.
Dude, can we bring the brewskis?
Yes, of course. You may absolutely bring the brewskis.
You wouldn't go to the bar and say like, oh, like, jag tar en bärs. I think you kind of say it to your friends, like, hey, let's go have a bärs, you know?
That makes sense.
I think. I feel like people are going to get mad at me if I'm explaining this incorrectly. Okay, so we have another beer-related one. Why are these all related to alcohol? I don't know. But if you go to the bar and order a stor stark, that is basically asking for a house beer, like the cheapest, strongest beer you have. They have a word for it here, which I love it. I love that they have their own word for this because as far as I know, there isn't a direct translation for this. I feel like if you go into a bar in the States, you can ask for a house wine. So it makes sense that there would be another word, but for beer. And so in Sweden, they have that here, a stor stark.
Yeah, I definitely heard about a house wine. Beer, like I said, just on the taps, just taps. I believe like, that's
just
it.
Just give me what you have. And yeah, in the States, I feel like you actually have to specify, like, either you'd have to say, oh, I want your cheapest, strongest beer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of words. Or you'd have to specify, like, oh, do you have
this type of
I was
beer?
going to say Miller Lite, but I really don't want to give
Not
credit to Miller Lite. Like, oh, do you have any local beers? And then you have to get the whole list from the waiter of like what's available and then you choose one. Although I'm curious if you guys actually have a word that I'm just totally blanking on in terms of like a house beer.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
Let me know. Because yeah, I'm really not thinking of anything that would be equivalent. So another word that I just learned recently is kallsup. It's a very specific word, but also is helpful, I guess. So a kallsup is an involuntary drink of water. Does it have to be water? I'm looking at the definition now. Oh man, that's even more specific if it's of water. At the same time, I feel like it's the only liquid that you would involuntarily gulp. That sounds so weird.
Be real thirsty.
Basically, if you go
swimming
swimming, and I think we've all experienced that, where you accidentally swallow some water.
That makes sense.
But there's an actual Swedish word for that exact situation, and it's called kallsup. And while we're talking about swimming, this word is kind of related, I guess, but it's the first one not related to like a liquid. This word makes me laugh really hard because somebody asked me, oh, what's the English word for parasol? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. And they pulled up a picture and I was like, oh, that's just like a big umbrella. And it is a big umbrella. Okay, this is the only word on the list that actually does have the English equivalent, which apparently it's just parasol or parasol. And that's how you say it with American English. Parasol. But I just thought it was so funny because
parasailing,
I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, is there an actual name for this? And I texted my sisters and I said like, oh, what do you call the big umbrellas that you bring to the beach? And both of my sisters were like, I think that's what you call it. It was just a big umbrella. But who knew? It could be even more specific.
Yeah, that's the difference. You just say a beach umbrella or umbrella. Umbrella just, when you're walking around carry a beach umbrella, it's going to be bigger. But I don't know, because they give you... I had a table and it came with one of those umbrellas. Like when you have like an outdoor table, I mean, it just said umbrella on it. It didn't specify if it was a beach umbrella or any. It just said umbrella. So, yeah, you can get them any type of way, I feel like. But mine's. Those things are pretty heavy. But yeah, I never had a beach one. Never went to, I don't live by a beach anyway. So, but I had one that came with my table that was a good size.
Like than that. Hey guys, just wanted to jump in here quickly and say that I found out a parasol is meant specifically for protecting from the sun versus an umbrella, which is meant to protect from rain. and sun, I suppose. But anyway, just want to clear that up.
Oh, okay.
Back to the video. I don't know. I just thought that
Some
was
fun
interesting
facts.
that like there actually is an English word for this specific object. But as far as I know, I don't think that's
Yeah, I never heard
the
parasol.
general word that people use to talk about big umbrellas. I don't know. But in Swedish, that is the word that they use. So, yeah, I learned that one as well. Okay.
Nice to know. Nice
What do you
to
guys
know.
think of my list? These are all
Yeah,
words that I've come across and just had no idea what they were. And when I tried to look them up, there was just not a direct translation for them. You know, I do think every language has those words that don't
Dang. Let's see. Get French, huh? Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce none of those.
directly translate, and I just think that's super interesting.
Parker?
I do think the most famous word would be lagom. So that's
Lagom.
the one that I feel like a lot of people mention with, oh, there's no exact word for lagom in English.
Yeah.
And lagom essentially means
Lagom.
it's just right, you
Just
know.
Right.
Lagom, not too much, not too little. I mean, they're doing it right over here.
That's a classic, of course. Thanks for watching. If you could,
Didn't know Will
do the
Ferrell's in that
whole
one.
like, comment, subscribe, anything you guys can do.
Yeah, I like this. I like this. Yeah, I think it's always interesting when you find that certain words don't translate nowhere else, you know. But I mean, for the most part, it's just like we just have our own thing of what we call it. You know, like I never really thought about that when it comes to umbrellas. But then again, there's a lot of things here that it's one name for it, but it can be used for multiple purposes. It have different purposes. That's what I would say. Different things are used for different purposes and stuff like that. So I mean, the cow soup, we don't have. I mean, I don't know what you would call if you would just like say, like she said, say for instance, you're swimming and stuff, and just ended up gulping up a whole lot of water in the, whether in the ocean pool or something like that. I don't think we have nothing for that other than like you just drunk the water, you know. So I think that's different. That's different. But anyway, if y'all have some more, let me know in the comments below. As I always mention, your boy will be in Sweden here shortly. No, not today shortly, but shortly as in a couple of days. So I'm excited for that. So I'm still learning as much as possible. Can't wait to get there to learn even more. Preparing. I got everything I think that I need for the trip, of course. But other than that, y'all might see a video later on what else do I need just to make sure I'm good. But that's all I have. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.